welcome to this edition of Metro Focus. This month's episode is a celebration of cultural heritage for African American History Month, with visits to Sahara Dance Studio. We'll also visit Twins Jazz Restaurant. We'll also learn about important cultural events and learning opportunities at the Martin Luther King Library in downtown DC. And we'll provide updates on Metro's Back to Good efforts. All this and more on this edition of Metro Focus. Hello everyone, we're here at the DC Public Library, known as the Martin Luther King Library, with Mr. Richard Reyes Galon.
Very good.
Executive Director for the DC Public Library. Thank you, Richard.
How are you?
It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome.
I am excited
Welcome.
to be in this wonderful space.
Absolutely, yeah.
Tell us about this building, tell us about this location.
Well, of course, this is the flagship central library for the DC Public Library System, the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library. What we're really excited about, frankly, is that after many years of planning, we are set to close this building in a couple of months for a 3-year modernization, and that is going to add about 100,000 square feet of public space in this building, and is going to revolutionize our services so that we can be a library for the next century. So just tonight we're getting ready for a big program. Dr. Barbara Reynolds, who has just released Coretta Scott King's own memoir.
That's breathtaking.
And this book was just released today.
The name of the book is My Life, My Love, My Legacy. And it is Coretta Scott King's story told for the first time. And it's about her rise from Marion, Alabama, where she even picked cotton as a teenager, how she had to survive her home being burned when she was 15 years old, being in the Montgomery bus boycott when her home was bombed. So I was a reporter when I first started with her in 1975. And I saw how under threats, because we have to understand in the 50s and 60s, not only did they bomb her house, but they threatened to kill members of the King family every day that she lived. And I saw how hard it was to do that, because I was threatened about the Klan when I was trying to do voter registration. She was trying to say why we should be nonviolent. She was trying to say why we should love our enemies. I had to get that in my head. I want people to walk away with taking another fresh look at her, knowing that there were worse times than this. And this woman who had a strategy, she was a coalition builder. We got through it, we survived, and we thrived. And we can do it again, but we have to understand how we got here.
So we bring in partners all the time, whether it's authors or booksellers or media partners. All of our activities are not just here. 16 of the 26 libraries in DC are either brand new or fully renovated. We're going to be providing services in new and interesting and innovative spaces.
Well, I have to tell you, one of the things that's so important to us is that you are literally across the street from a metro station, the Gallery Place Metro Station.
Yeah, you know, one of the things we say, this is maybe the most well-situated public building in the city. Not only Gallery Place, but Metro Center.
Definitely.
So any subway in the city can get you here without transferring. And, you know, all of our locations are either accessible by Metro Rail or Metro Bus. That's really important because we've got many users who need public transportation, myself included, and so that's really important in terms of our service delivery strategy.
Well, tell us about some of the other programs that you all have and that you run for the public. I understand that you have reading programs for children, as well as literacy programs to help adults who are trying to learn English or either improve their proficiency.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to put it in context, we get about 4 million visitors per year coming through all of our locations, which is a really staggering number. And they are participating in our early childhood literacy program. So for example, we've got a program called Books from Birth. And that's parents can sign up for their kids so long as they're under the age of 5, and you can get a free book delivered to your home.
How great is that?
Every single month.
That is amazing.
I've got a 4-year-old at home, and every month she gets a book and she tears up the packaging, and it's like, you know, it's Christmas morning once a month. So of course we want them to come here, but we want them to be surrounded by books and literacy 24 hours a day, really. So as part of our Black History Month programming, we're having a sort of a teen tech-a-thon where teens get to explore emerging technology. We're hoping to drum up interest in careers.
Where should they be going to get this information?
Well, the easiest thing that anyone can do is to go to dclibrary.org, which is our website. It has our calendar of events. It's got hours and addresses, how to get there by metro and bus.
It's free to read, it's free to learn in here.
Yeah, that's our business model, and it's free with an asterisk. I mean, our taxpayers have supported the library wonderfully, and so it is our responsibility as the staff of the library to make sure that the return on the investment is there.
Well, I have to tell you, Metro is pleased that you invited us in today. This is a wonderful library, and I invite everyone to come out and visit the MLK Library when it reopens.
Yes, and all of our branches while we're open for business, not on Friday.
Not on Friday.
Okay.
Thank you.
At Sahara Dance, we teach belly dance, and we have a lot of different styles. We specialize mostly in Egyptian and Lebanese belly dance with some American influences. We just wanted a place that specialized in making belly dance an art form and creating a community for belly dancers. Students at Sahara Dance come from far away because we are a specialty studio. We are a boutique dance studio specializing in belly dance, and we're DC's Center for Middle Eastern Dance.
The style that we do at Sahara Dance primarily comes from Egypt. Particularly, it came out of social dances, so it was done by people at weddings and parties and whatever. In the 1920s and 30s, got on film and got to Hollywood, and so that's how we in the West got to learn about these really amazing dancers, is through films. Sahara is an amazing place. It's a bunch of really fantastic women from all walks of life, different ages, different backgrounds, who all come together to share this really cool dance form and to just enjoy each other's company, which is really amazing.
And the beautiful thing about belly dance is anybody can do it. It looks different on every body, and that's great. It's supposed to. Explore different movements, find movements that feel really natural to them.
It's a place where all shapes, like for women, are celebrated, which is, coming from me, and I'm kind of a curvier girl, like dancing in a Western setting, like in a ballet classroom or jazz, curvier women aren't always really accepted, no matter how good of dancers they are. In belly dance, we say that the more that you have to jiggle, like the better it is. So it's a place where I can dance for myself and feel the best in my own body.
It feels really good on the body. It's really sort of, unlike some dance forms where you do lots of jumping and it's really hard on the knees, this one's pretty gentle, and so it's a nice way. It's great sort of energy to the dance, and it's got so much emotion behind it and so much culture that's just really cool.
Belly dance is different from other dance forms in a couple ways. First and foremost, it's really accessible to all bodies, and it celebrates and makes beautiful all forms. And then the other way that it's different from other dance forms is a very sensual and celebratory dance in the spirit of femininity. And women in our culture get a lot of different messages about how their bodies should look, but through this art form and through this medium, they can really learn to enjoy the body they have now. And when they get to do that with one another, and they get to perform on stage and everybody celebrates how beautiful they are, I think that creates a bond and a friendship that is pretty long-lasting. Metro's pretty important to our studios. It allows more people to access the dance form than would otherwise be possible if we weren't Metro accessible. The Metro's just a half block north of our studio in Tenleytown. Very convenient.
So I live in Alexandria, and I don't drive or have a car, so the Metro is really important to me, and it's great that this is so Metro accessible. So I just hop on the yellow or blue lines and then transfer once and get off at Tenleytown, and it's just a block away.
Red line. Yeah.
I get here on the Metro bus, actually. It's vital because I don't have a car, so I take the Metro bus everywhere. So I use the bus straight from my office to here, and it's super easy, and I couldn't get here any other way.
I love Sahara Dance. I've been coming here for about 4 years now, and it's just a really warm, welcoming community of a lot of really diverse women who just come here to experience another culture, experience this beautiful art form of belly dance, and it's just a really warm, welcoming community.
Rachel is really, really good at seeking challenges for students to kind of bring them out. So it's not just learning, but learning and always wanting to learn more, always feeling like you can push yourself, but also at the same time not being overwhelmed or like feeling like, oh, you know, if you don't do really well that you're not gonna succeed here. Like it's a really nice balance of challenge and mindfulness to like where you are as a student and what you're ready to take on.
The students at the studio and at Sahara Dance are really supportive of one another, and we do a lot to foster that culture of support and celebrating one another's beauty. And I'm very grateful to have these students. They've come into the studio from many different walks of life, and we've become friends, and the community's been long-standing and very tight, so it's like a family.
It's therapeutic, it's introspective, and you learn a lot about yourself through this dance, through experimenting with movement, through learning about the cultures that are associated with it, and through meeting other women, performing with them, and just being a part of a really, I keep saying warm and welcoming, but it's just such a tight-knit, really close community.
I've studied at a lot of different places with a lot of different teachers in the area, and I truly believe that Sahara is one of the best with the variety that it provides and the level of care and attention that they bring to their students.
I'd like to invite anyone who wants to learn more about belly dance or better enjoy their body through movement or learn more about Middle Eastern music and culture to please come visit us at Sahara Dance, and the website is saharadance.com, or you can call us at 202-362-4400.
So Twins Jazz, we're coming up on 30 years. We were established in 1987. My mother and my aunt are identical twins. And so the name was, you know, floating in the air, but we were thinking about maybe finding an Ethiopian word, we'd talk about the food, and then, I don't know if it was a cousin or a friend, said, why is this so deep? You're twins, let's just call it Twins, and that's where we got the name from. My mother, Kelly Tesfaye, and my aunt, Maazi Tesfaye, migrated from Ethiopia, and they opened up originally Twins Lounge on 14th in Colorado, and we were a straight-ahead Ethiopian restaurant, but we didn't know that the business that we took over used to be a jazz club, and so musicians just kept coming in and asking, say, can we have a jam session? At first we were like, no, we're an Ethiopian restaurant, but it was a lot of people coming in inquiring, so we said, okay, we'll try it one night. Lo and behold, now we're Twins Jazz, full-blown jazz club in DC, where we offer a fusion of Ethiopian, Caribbean, and American food with straight-ahead jazz. We have a full bar menu as well, and so what we like to do is try to get our staff on the floor as early as possible before the show starts. We want to do our best to keep the music the top priority. On the U Street corridor, we're the only listening club, and what we mean by that is we ask our guests not to speak or talk loudly during performances, and that's similar to shows at the Kennedy Center, shows at any theater. And trust and believe, our patrons have no problem looking at you and giving you a dirty look if you're talking a little bit too loud. Our core audience are true straight-ahead jazz lovers. I mean, this is who we are. And as far as demographics, it's not a color, it's not a race, it's not an age. We've had all types of musicians here, Shirley Horn, the late David Fathead Newman, John Hicks. We've been in business for over 30 years, and the stage has been blessed with so many amazing performers. So we definitely want to highlight for the month of February our Valentine's Day special with Abby Schaefer. She's a vocalist, amazing singer. So guys, if you want to do something different for your lady, bring her on down to Twins Jazz on Valentine's Day. The closest metro stop for us is on the Green Line, Cardozo stop, and it makes it extremely accessible, you know, because parking on U Street can be a hassle and very expensive. An alternative is just to hop on the Green Line and get right here. We're only like 2 blocks away, nice, simple walk, and it's a really pretty walk as well because you can see all the restaurants and bars that you pass just to get to us. You know, if you live in the city, 15 minutes, and even if you're outside of the city, it's so much faster than driving or dealing with a taxi ride, and it's cost effective. I mean, if you want to be comfortable and you want to travel and be comfortable, Metro is the best way to travel here, specifically U Street and to Twins, because we have not had this much congestion. If you think about just 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you could walk on U Street and not bump into someone. Now it's like a mob just walking down U Street, and the only way to really navigate that is through walking in Metro. If you drive, you're gonna spend half your time looking for parking. We've been in this location on U Street since 2001, and the demographic has changed a lot. The jazz clubs that used to be here, a lot of them are left, and if anybody researched U Street is the jazz corridor here for Black musicians. And so the community has definitely changed. However, jazz is seasonal color, and so we attract everyone from all walks of life. My mother and my aunt are my two mothers, and altogether it's 4 siblings out of that group. And we grew up in this business. You know, when we were little, we came in early, washed dishes, we, you know, helped clean up where need be. You know, my sister and I tag team with all of the marketing and website development and social media. So we're very involved. My mother is the chef. She cooks all the food. So when you come in and ask for something off the menu, you know who's cooking it. And we're a family-run and owned business. We tag team and do a little bit of everything to make sure we bring the best jazz to Washington, D.C. I just want to tell Washingtonians and the communities neighboring D.C. that if you want a taste of that old Harlem Renaissance, the musicians bar, the musicians club, then please visit us, make this your home. Please follow us on social media at Twins Jazz Club DC, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and log on to twinsjazz.com, join our newsletter so you can stay up to date with the latest performances and events.
Securing the homeland, protecting the environment, educating a nation. Every day, Metro riders take on the toughest problems on the planet. They come to the nation's capital, driven by a sense of duty, a desire to make things better, and a commitment to their cause. The entire world depends on them doing their jobs. And at Metro, we are well aware that they depend on us to do ours. We want our riders to know that we recognize the hard issues facing our system. We know that before we can regain their trust, we need to restore their service. We'll do that first by getting back to good, then eventually returning Metro to the world-class transit system it once was. And our promise to the region is that we will bring the same passion and commitment to our job as our riders bring to theirs.
Well, hello everyone. Today we're at the African American Museum of History and Culture with Mr. John Franklin. Tell us about when the museum opened and how things been going so far.
Well, we opened to the public on September 24th, 2016. And as you know, it's an extremely popular place. Being on 14th Street, we're on that commuter route to Virginia, so thousands of people see the building every day.
So you are part of the Smithsonian family of museums?
Yes, we're the 19th Museum of the Smithsonian. So we also benefit from working with our colleagues across the institution. We're a museum of history and culture. Most Smithsonian museums are either art or science or history. But because we're looking at the evolution of a people, we have to have a historical base to be able to understand how the poetry comes out, how the art comes out. So we have about 11 exhibitions in the museum, and each exhibition had its own team of curators, educators, and designers. Smithsonian museums and most museums are research-based. We have to make sure that we're giving accurate information to our visitors, and so each curatorial team depends on the scholarly knowledge of its advisors to make sure that we have the most recent information on this historical period. So there's a design concept that changes with each space. and the content changes with each space. Each team had stories that they wanted to tell, and then you have to find the artifacts to help you tell the story. And of course, the further you go back in time, the harder it is to find genuine artifacts that people try to fake. And so we've had to acquire those through gifts from individuals, loans from other institutions, and we've had to purchase items as well. It's a living museum, particularly because it doesn't have a finite period. A slavery museum has a finite period. A civil rights museum need not, but most of them have a finite period. So we go from 1400 into the future. The museum, of course, will be open every day. We're open from 10 to 5:30. We have our exhibitions on history from slavery to the present. And then we have exhibitions looking both at communities, the military history, sports history, the history of our organizations and institutions, and then 10 case studies that look at African American experience in different regions of the country. We hope that people will come here and enjoy what is already here, and in addition, they can consider our website to look at what programs are being offered. Now, our website is the letters of our museum, nmaahc.si.edu. So we divided the Museum Cafe up into 4 sections: the agricultural South, the Creole South, the West, and the North. And so you can get main dishes from any of those areas and match your sides and desserts. One of the goals of the museum was to be a place of dialogue and reconciliation. So some of our seating is intentional to get people, to encourage people to talk. And you notice in the cafe, there are long tables of 8. And so if you're just a single person or 2 people, you'll be joining other people. So we get that dialogue among visitors, which is just wonderful.
Well, thank you again, John, for inviting us into this wonderful museum, for sharing your experience and expertise.
It's our pleasure. Thank you for coming. You must come back again.
Oh, you don't have to ask me twice. I'll be back.
All right.
And thank you. I invite all of you to come out and visit the museum.
Did you know that you can buy Metro swag at dcmetrostore.com? We have a wide variety of items that you can get that are officially licensed and that carry the iconic Metro map. We've got tote bags, we've got melamine plates, we've got coffee mugs, we've got the Metro poster, magnets. How about your station specific? Gallery Place, Chinatown, go online and you can find your station and have a map made, have a magnet made, have a t-shirt made. We've got things for the kids, we've got a backpack, we've got toy trains and toy buses.
Attention Platform 1, train to Central is approaching. Please stand clear of the platform edge.
We have jewelry. We have a Christmas ornament, hand-painted and hand-glittered in Poland. How about a great pair of socks? We have t-shirts, we have book bags, we have multiple different kinds of totes, even an umbrella. We've got our newest edition coming out in March, the Silverline wooden train. Magnets on both ends, goes on a wooden track. You can connect cars together. This will be the first one introduced in March, if not earlier, followed by red line, blue line, orange line, yellow line, green line. These things range in prices from $3.50 to something like a magnet to $45 for the chiffon scarf with the map in the middle. There are a limited number of local retail outlets where you can buy some of our merchandise. The National Building Museum store carries it. Poetry and Prose carry some of our merchandise. And even some of the Smithsonian Museum stores will have limited amounts of Metro merchandise. We know you love Metro, and we know that you'll love Metro merchandise.
We underwent the first redesign in 8 years. We bubbled up what we thought was important content getting buried up to the top. The homepage features the top 4 requested features on our website. And that's the trip planner, next bus, next train, and service nearby. We have an alerts band on the side of the homepage here that will give you most recent alerts It will give you the opportunity to expand upon them, and then you can click for more information. We understand that 60% of users access our website through their mobile device, right? So everything in this new design is accessible from the phone. You can see that everything is naturally formatted for the size of the phone, and you can easily scroll, and you can get all of the same features that you would on the desktop, just laid out differently and more comfortably on the mobile device. And the 6 features here up at the top, Trip Planner, Next Bus, Next Train, Service Near Me, Maps and Times, and Call Police. With the tap of a button, it'll find where we are. You hit Show Results. Less than a quarter mile away, Gallery Place, Chinatown Metro. You hit the little plus, and then you'll get that the green, red, and yellow line service comes there. Or if you're looking for the red line, buses will get ordered first, but you can scroll to find the service that you're looking for. There's green line, there's red line. We got Judiciary Square or Gallery Place, and again, click to expand. From a security standpoint on the website, there's a one-touch to call MTPD, our Metro Transit Police Department, and then it also branches beyond the website with our text tip service, where someone can text 696-873, which spells out my MTPD, and that will send a message and or pictures, if you so choose, to our Police Operations Command, where they can have a quick conversation with a dispatcher to get some help. My personal favorite feature is we really wanted the bus customers to see a big win in the new site. We'll pull up the customized bus schedules. We'll type in 70, which runs up and down Georgia Avenue, southbound. We'll pick Georgia Avenue and Rittenhouse Street for today, all day. When we hit go, it produces all of the service at that stop for the day. That's it. And I just want to point out, if I may too, the other really awesome part of this is with Metro Rail closing at midnight every night, our bus services don't also close at midnight, you know. So if someone is sort of that night owl, they can go to these schedules and they can easily pick a route that they know is nearby and find out if the bus is even running after midnight. And then if it is, they can, again, just choose after midnight and print that out. Not everyone has quick access to a timetable. So the idea here is if they live right outside of a bus stop and they really just care about that stop and the service that comes there, you go through these options and then that will allow them to just have those times. And we want everyone to find the information quickly, and making sure that everything is self-explanatory up at the top, even to the navigation. It's the service, it's the schedules, the maps, the rider guides, and the fares. Finding out when the next vehicle is coming, that's when everything sort of blends together. We integrated maps as much as possible, so in the Trip Planner example here, this is how you can get from Farragut North to Woodley Park. And we give you 3 options. In this case, it's all by train, but as you put in different addresses, or you can also choose, if you prefer bus, you can choose bus-only trips. Customer feedback comes in about the website all the time. You know, no concern is taken lightly. So when we set about the new website, we looked at web stats, we looked at web feedback from customer service, and we worked that into the design and the build of it. But this was the product of about a 2.5 year effort. And we knew that when we have this new website launched, we can just continue to build on the platform that we now have. That's fresh, that's modern, and we can begin to introduce new features in the future that's mobile friendly and just ready for the future. If you want to check out our website, visit www.wmata.com.
Thank you for watching this episode of Metro Focus. We hope you join us next month when we visit interesting and historic locations in Virginia.